This is the flywheel. This is what keeps most of the momentum going. It's how you get it going. It's the cog of the machine. It spins the gears, which then bring the rollers up across the inking surface, bring it down across the type, bring the paper against the type, put it all in motion.
Huh?
It spins the gears, which then bring the rollers up across the inking surface, bring it down across the type, bring the paper against the type, put it all in motion.
So the wheel controls the motion of the entire thing?
Pretty much, yeah. The wheel is also able to be turned with the pedal, but it's really hard to get your initial momentum going with your foot because this is a heavy old machine.
What do you think it weighs?
I would say at least 600. Perhaps I'm underestimating. I know it took like, how many people? 6 or 7 people to move it, so perhaps 600 isn't a low guess.
What about these rollers? What do these do?
Those run across this metal disc right here is where the ink is. Those roll across that, ink it evenly, and come down across the chase where the type is set up and ink the type for each print. So with each print that you're making, there's a new surface of ink. The rollers get covered with ink, go down, ink the type, and come up. Get a new batch of ink, come down, ink the type, and come up. I've talked a bit about the chase, which is where the type goes. It's that flat platen, which the press gets its name from. Do you want me to talk about this lever? Basically, this is sort of a safeguard for any mistakes that would happen while printing. Say you're printing and you realize that in the process, moving very quickly and fluidly, you accidentally put your paper crooked. You don't want to waste a print. You don't want to waste the paper or the ink with a crooked print, so you would push that lever back, and that would keep the type surface from hitting flush against the paper surface. It separates it by about ½ an inch, and that would allow you to keep with your momentum and bring the paper back up to a loading position where you could fix it and then continue on without wasting a print.
Alright, so we got the pedal, we got the wheel, we got the lever. What else is there?
Let's see. Well, there's this board. It's more just for convenience. Usually that's used to put the clean paper on. So when you're sitting here, you're pumping the pedal, you're switching printed sheets out with new sheets. You would have your new sheets on this tray, easily accessible, so you could keep constant movement going. And then here, this surface is where you would be working. That's your work surface, basically sliding printed sheets, letting it dry slightly.
How do you know how many prints you've done?
Well, you have the counter, for one thing. You could track it that way. Otherwise, you're going to be doing relatively small runs, so keeping track of how many you've done probably won't be that hard.
How are presses dangerous?
Probably the most dangerous thing that happens is when you're going, because once it gets momentum, it's not too easy to stop this thing. And I've heard a lot of stories about printers. They don't want to lose a print or waste a print. They notice something going wrong, and their natural reaction is to reach in there, and they crush, break, or lose appendages.
Does this press have any history with...
Apparently this one has taken a finger. Rob wanted to call it Lost Finger Press. that was one of the first things they told me when I wanted to get involved in this project. I said, all right, but you know, this one's already taken a finger.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I'm just stoked about the beer coasters, man. I think we should just make thousands of beer coasters with little poems and political messages on them. I don't know, in some respects I kind of see us as being a printing company that, you know, if someone needs, people will come to us with jobs. And some of our customers will come to us with things that we haven't thought of yet. Off the wall stuff. I mean, this is Olympia. I'm sure once we get going, people are going to bring weird ideas to it. It's always felt, since I got here, that things have been getting a little more focused. You know, like, you can look back at history and, you know, point at Berkeley and this era and be like, this was the place to be. And I really feel like Olympia in this time is one of those places. And I think that there's no way that something good can't come out of it all. That's one of my other main goals with the press too, is like, it's not even the art or the business side of things, it's just the social networking. And I mean, to use the artwork and the business as a tool to draw like-minded people together into contact with each other for whatever good that might cause in the long run. I think that's the main purpose of the press, actually, or the bookstore.
As long as I'm here, I don't see this as just a 10-week internship and then I'm done. I want to learn everything, even if I hate it. Within the past year, I've been doing 5 to 10 hours a week, just sort of learning about printing and or publishing. You just sort of pick up things if you read enough books. Yeah, I want to stay involved in this until, hell, even when I'm not in Olympia, I still want to be involved in it, you know. An important thing to me is definitely continuing innovation and continuing to push boundaries and trying new things that won't necessarily be the best business venture idea, but might as well give it a try. Publishing, writing isn't very well known or isn't anything like you've seen before. I think that's what I was saying. I thought the train just pulled back in the station. It's more about the intention of the reproductions.
I think it's kind of a cool thing to do is if somebody wants to be published, you teach them how to set their own type and print their own page, or at least set their own type so that they know the process of like actually doing that. And you give them that vehicle so that not only are they writing their own material, they're taking a serious hand in publishing their own material. I mean, for the most part, yeah, I do want to become a selective publisher of things. You know? I don't want to just publish anything. Right. I don't want to be a vanity press. I want to publish things because I think they're good. I'm kind of a puritanist in some ways. You know. The press itself actually combined the use of ink and letters, which are words, with a wine press. The wine press? Basically, the first printing press was actually a bastardization of a grape press, which is a beautiful metaphor for the fact that writing and wine have always gone hand in hand. Media. A generic term used to indicate systems or vehicles for the transmission of information or entertainment, such as radio, television, videotape, newspapers and magazines, hoardings, films, books, records, and tapes. Of these, the ubiquitous television, radio, and newspapers are generally classified as the mass media. Unlike the others, they form part of man's total environment in mass society and cannot be ignored without conscious and sustained effort. I do like Lost Finger Press.
I'm real interested in getting a lot of the energy that's going around in the community and working together with SSO Press and Community Print and people out at Evergreen and really making a movement here. And so I'm interested in like the physicality of making the books after we use the press for the text, and then the actual binding. I would be into doing that. I'd like to contact as many as possible like poets and philosophers and writers of the Northwest and do limited edition nice stuff that they've done, maybe even get some big people, because there's tons of good stuff there that's unpublished, especially little things. And I think that with this press, that's kind of what we're gonna have to focus on, because it's not like we're gonna be able to make a copy of War and Peace on that press. It just would be absolutely ridiculous to make that. So, and anarchy. And I want to use this to subvert reality so that people can break out of the boundaries of what they seem as normal and really go for like the good stuff that everyone dreams of, like a printing press that is ridiculously out of date.